EP.5. It's your girl, D, and your co-host, Mo Money. Welcome to another episode of Forever Unfiltered. Ski.
Tell me what you heard. Tell me what to do. Just tell me when.
Y'all, today we got a little bit different. We got a lot of guests today on the pod, and y'all are gonna see in a little minute. But yeah.
As your creative director, I would just like to say that this week's pod was just about sparking thoughts that you wouldn't normally think about and seeing like the guy's perspective versus the girl's perspective.
Yep.
Yep, y'all. I'm a guest. I was in the video. I was in the pod. Yes. My name's not Kara. You've seen me before.
A little something new. My boy. My name is Tony. It's Dominic Jones Jr. I'm a special guest.
His name's Tony, y'all.
I'm
Heavy on the special.
really out here right now. Podcast. Like D money. You know what I'm saying? See y'all later.
First question: what do you classify as cheating? Who wants to start first, boys or girls?
Boys.
Okay.
The intentional approach to get somebody's feelings aligned with your own. If you're going out of your own way to show someone that you like them, knowing that you're in a relationship, I feel like some people in this day and age, they say, I didn't have no emotion behind it. That don't mean crap to me. If you go out of your own way, now look at me. If you go out of your own way, and you tell somebody, oh, let's link up. Let's go to the movies. Let's go to Golden Corral.
Bro, are you speaking about somebody specific?
No, this is just hypothetical.
Okay.
If you go to your own way to get somebody's number, knowing that you have the intent,
All right, Tony, wrap it up.
okay, basically,
Sean.
if your intent is wrong, it's cheating.
Sean.
You shouldn't be hanging out with no nigga. I'm sorry. I gotta put that on the table. If I don't know him and I don't know he's solid, and unless he just like the zesty homeboy of the group, no, you not being with no niggas. No thank you.
All right, girls. What do you classify
Like
as
that.
cheating?
Okay. I think cheating is, so there's a difference between emotionally cheating and physically cheating. Physically cheating is when you're going out, you doing something that you should supposed to be doing. No emotions behind it for real, but that's still cheating. Like, you can't be in a relationship and go hanging out with some boy that you, okay. Dang, we can't do follow-up questions, can we? Because I was going to say, I feel like if you are hanging out with someone that you're attracted to, that's cheating. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to agree. There's a difference between physical and emotional cheating. So if we're in a relationship and you have feeling for somebody else, like the talking ain't gonna happen, ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
And same thing with physically. Like if you're physically attracted to that person, you're hanging out with them consistently. It ain't gonna work. Because why are you hanging out with them anyway?
Yep.
Why are you chatting to them? Why are you chatting to them?
Period.
Tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
Do you feel like men or women are more responsible? Women. We'll start with you this time.
Women, the freak.
I would say women.
Women are always more, that's cap. But usually I think,
cut that shit real quick.
I think that women are more responsible than men because women take into account other people's feelings, where I feel like guys usually tend to think about themselves before they think about others. And I also feel like guys think logically, which is good, but also you have to take into account the emotional side of things as well sometimes too. Like, I can't think of an example, but
Yeah, I'm still sticking with girls. I feel like girls are a lot more organized and just they pay more attention to detail.
Yes.
So even the littlest thing that you might forget about, like a guy would forget
More
about, a girl is
attentive.
going to remember that. So therefore, women are more responsible than men.
I feel like women are more responsible than men. But I also think during the situation of irresponsibility on both sides, the world is more catered to irresponsible women more than they are irresponsible men. I feel like that's where the whole I'm just a girl thing like to pop up at. Because women get to fall back on not being responsible about certain stuff and kind of just let it play out. Meanwhile, if you a dude irresponsible, they just kind of look at you like,
That was not the question.
So I feel like although women are more responsible, you know, given certain circumstances, they can be irresponsible and it gets overlooked.
Basically, he's just saying yes, women are more responsible, but there are cases where men are more responsible.
I
He
think.
basically agreed.
Okay, I see. I agree, but also disagree because I feel like yes, girls get overlooked irresponsibility because of the "I'm just a girl," but guys do too because it's like a stereotypical thing as a guy to be irresponsible. So like, if I think it's the same thing, it's just not the same. Like if guys are irresponsible. They're still gonna be like, oh well, he's a guy, he's irresponsible. Same thing as a girl. It's just become popularized as I'm just a girl being a statement.
And you have to realize, like, when do girls say that? And when it's more like when it's minuscule things. It's not something that actually matters. Like, we can take responsibility for when it matters. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, yeah, but like, no, cause like,
Really, dude.
I don't know. I thought somebody fell. Anyways, I feel like I see what y'all are saying, but the majority of the time, I have rarely heard, like, that's what I'm saying, like, the reprimand for being irresponsible for a man is different. Like, I've never really heard, oh, he's just a boy, he irresponsible. More it's like, nigga, lock in, what are you doing? That's usually what I hear when somebody's irresponsible. Or, like,
Boys
when you say,
boys.
like,
But
the
guys-
I'm just a girl thing with, like,
Boys
irresponsibility.
will be boys. That's the same thing.
It's
Yeah.
not the same thing.
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is.
And guys get more chances than girls. If a guy makes a mistake, it's kind of like, okay, well, he's trying. But when a girl makes a mistake, it's like, no,
yeah.
that's really when they have to lock in. I don't hear guys being like, oh yeah, I got locked in. They be making mistake after mistake.
And even
after
when they do
mistake.
say, okay, you gotta lock in, it's like a forgivable, like, okay,
Yeah.
you gotta lock in, but you can do the same thing the next time, and it's just gonna be the same. Okay, you gotta lock in. Like, it's repetitive.
Next question: what is the best way to break up with someone?
In person, face to face, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we supposed to be taking turns. My bad. My
You
bad.
never say anything.
My
I think
bad.
it was y'all's turn anyway.
Yeah, it was your turn to start first.
Okay, yeah. In person, face to face. Unless she's trying to kill you, she crazy. Then you know what I'm saying. You gotta hit the hoe on the iMessage. But most of the time, you know what I'm saying. I feel like face to face. FaceTime, you know what I'm saying, is appropriate.
I agree. I think face to face is the best way to do it because at the end of the day, someone's feelings is gonna be hurt. But that's just okay, dude.
Oh, my bad.
It's just that much worse if you do it on the phone. It's just like disregarding their feelings if you do it on the phone. Especially if it's something where it's like you fell out of feelings for someone and you're completely breaking their heart. Don't do that shit on camera, bruh.
I also feel like in person, it like eliminates the space for the person to be like, oh, I never got closure. So,
Yeah.
in person. for
That
sure.
too, because a lot of people think that going into a breakup is going to be like, okay, I'm breaking up with you, that's it. But a lot of the times, though, it can go like back and forth. So you have to give room for that person to like try to get closure and like get an idea of what they did or whatever. Because sometimes like a breakup could be a slap in the face, they never see it coming. So to be able to give the person the room to explain themselves or just get an answer is very important. I feel like doing that in person is probably the best way to go about it.
What do you classify as cheating?
Me personally, I classify cheating as doing anything that can jeopardize your relationship. So that can be from liking a girl's Instagram picture to actually DMing a girl on Instagram to actually talking to a girl. Because I feel like when you like a girl's Instagram picture, you're liking it with the intent, unless it's like a friend or something or a family member, you're liking it with the intention to say, oh, this girl looked bad. The only one that should look bad to you is your girl.
Cheating. I feel like anything that you wouldn't want your partner to do. Like, because it could be anything. Cheating could be something small, as getting food with an ex. But it could be as big as, like, having sexual intercourse with somebody else.
I also feel like cheating is not setting boundaries with the opposite sex. So, like, if you're not setting boundaries with your coworkers that are female or male, and they're constantly, like, flirting and pushing those boundaries with you, I feel like that is also cheating too.
I think it's any contact that is precipitated by trying to get to something more. So if there's no reason to be talking to anybody unless there's boundaries set.
I feel like y'all basically said the same thing already, so I feel like any I say can be a copy and a carry on, but I guess for me, I guess the biggest thing is when you have that feeling of there's no trust between y'all, and you start seeing like different things going on that never happened before, and you like he like he give more attention to like someone else than you, but y'all already said everything.
Oh yeah, y'all covered it.
Yeah, I literally commented.
Y'all knew better than what Jalen.
Okay.
He's gonna be like, yeah, y'all got it.
Second question. Do you feel like men or women are more responsible?
I feel like equally, we both have like responsible and strong. I feel like there's no men more responsible and then women are more responsible than men. I just feel like we both got our issues. We all got our flaws, and I just feel like it really shouldn't debate because we're all at the end of the day we're all human. I guess we all like for men things we have more different responsibility for men. You know, mow the lawn, take out the trash, go fix the car. But then for women, it's like go take care of that baby, change the diaper, cook food, go out to grocery shopping. I don't know. That we have like.
I think responsibility objective. Like, I don't think it go from gender to gender. It go from person to person. Like, I don't know. I don't think you could. I don't think I could judge y'all two responsibility based off gender. It's that simple.
I'm gonna agree, Jay.
You were doing? What you gotta say?
I do, but I don't agree because yes, responsibility is objective to person, but just like we were talking about before, certain people get held to, or certain genders get held to a higher standard when it comes to responsibility, and that's not just about the roles that they are supposed to play in, because the roles that people are supposed to play in, we don't have those anymore, especially not when it comes to women being like the homemaker or the domestic type while men are out doing the more like manly things, because when you have that type of idea, you don't take into account the single mothers that get left by men because they're irresponsible, and then there's also the irresponsible women that have kids knowing that they shouldn't be having kids at this time. But I do feel like women are more responsible because they get a lot more scrutiny, especially from the media, and it comes from things just like from what they wear to how they talk. So.
What was the question?
Do you feel like men or women are more responsible?
In general?
Yes.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's definitely dependent upon the person and the personality and like what they feel is important and not important, how they carry out their business, because I feel like more responsible just goes into your morals and what you deem as a priority. And I don't feel like I don't think that's a gender role thing, because in a relationship, I fuck with women, so it's like we both have to do certain things that we might not want to do or stuff that have to get done. We still have to take up our cross and do it. But I also think in a man's standpoint, certain things that men have to do is like just, it's a manly thing. And sometimes I feel like it's both though. I feel like it's not gender based.
All right. The next question is the last question. What's the best way to break up with somebody?
Shit over text.
Denaya.
What, bro? I'm not a confrontation person, bro. So you think I'm gonna go to somebody's face and be like, yeah, this ain't gonna work, so you can sit there and cry on my face? No, I'm gonna just send you that text, delete your contact, and block you and keep it peace.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually agree with Denaya because I too am not a non-confrontational person, and then also I feel like if I'm breaking up with you, I've given you enough chances to where I don't feel like I have to sit down with you and explain myself for like the third, fourth, or fifth time, to where I'm just laying everything out that I've said is wrong with this relationship. So a quick little, hey, this ain't gonna work no more, let you bye, blocked. It works.
It's clean and simple.
Straight to the point.
I don't think it matters. I don't know about if you gonna break up, you gonna break up. I don't think it matters.
Me personally, I feel like there are like some people who really like, like closure, and also there's a lot, you put your all. Imagine you up together for a whole year and two, and you put the other person put their all into that relationship. They up here coddle, fondle, being cuddled, fuggled in the bed, all that crap going on, and they freaking there's so much stuff going on, and as you know, block, clock, like you said, block, clock, delete, call it a day. No, I feel like that's not a right way. Because first of all, you're not taking the initiative. Like you literally just waste this other person's time when they could have been doing other things. It may be easy for you because you're the one that bring it up, but at the same time, it's still not easy for you because you still gotta make sure to take the responsibility to tell them of why you're breaking up with them. Now, after the fact, if they still up here keep asking all the crap after you already told them the fact, then that's just on them. That's too bad for them. They just have problems when you go to therapy. But other than that, block, clock, delete. No, I feel like that's not a correct way. No, you need to come in person, tell them all what needs to be said, and then call it a day. And whatever happens then happens. But no, I feel like that's not the way. Because at the end of the day, I feel like it's being selfish, in my opinion. Because why the freak do you think that's right? And you just up here hurt this other person's feelings for no freaking reason, and that's not fair to them. I don't think that's fair. So no, I feel like I don't agree with both of y'all points about blocking them. But yeah,
I think it's situational. So if the relationship's mostly been through text, then yeah, you can end it through text. But if it's mostly been through dates, date nights, going out, all that sort of functions, then I think it is appropriate to first set the tone for the type of date, because you don't want them to think they're going on a date and they get blind slapped by getting broke up. So tell them, hey, I really want to talk about something that's happening in our relationship. I was wondering if we can meet at X, Y, and Z. Because if your relationship has always been y'all together, then that's how it should be done, in my opinion.
I'm gonna go back to something you said, to where you said that it was selfish for somebody to break up with somebody over text. I personally do not agree, because I feel like if I'm breaking up with you,
I didn't say text. I said just blocking them without saying anything.
Our thing was that we text and then block.
Look, you said.
She said text and then block.
She said, I love you. She said something about I love you and then the block. And that was it. That's all I heard.
No, I didn't say that. First of all,
I said, but I said text.
No.
But
I
at
guess
the same
it
time,
sounded similar. My bad.
at the same time, even if it's blocked, I feel like if somebody's blocking you as a way of breaking up, then there are too many problems in that relationship, and it's not selfish. I feel like the way that you handle things, it might seem selfish to the other person, but me personally, I don't think that's selfish. I think that's protecting your peace.
Do you feel like men are naturally better leaders?
These misogynistic ass questions. Or no, what's the man version? Anti-misogynistic. I feel like you're trying to attack niggas with these questions, man. Who's more responsible? What you think the worst quality of a baby daddy is? Like, nigga, what? Go ahead, bro. What's the question? We'll cut that part out.
Do you feel like men are naturally better leaders?
No.
I feel like
Who's going first?
Well,
Girls or boys?
Well, Morgan answer first. So.
oh, I was just going for real. I don't really have anything to back it up. I would say more.
More better?
I would say we're equal. I think because it depends on the person,
I would say it depends on the family. So if the man was raised in a household to where their dad is a leader, then yes. If not, then they have to learn to be leader. And then I just lost my train of thought, bruh. But that's basically what I feel like. It just depends on the family and how they were raised.
I don't think all men are better leaders than all women.
I think they're supposed to be, but like I said, it's situational. It
Yeah.
depends on how they were raised.
Yeah, because a lot of women are raised to be independent,
So they have to learn how to be submissive in that as well, if they were raised to be independent. So that's how I feel about that.
I think if we're going off the natural terminology of the question, she said naturally, yes. But to piggyback off of what Nikera and Morgan said, I think it depends on a lot of the times how you're raised. Because although it could be natural, some people over time develop bad leadership qualities. Like, for example, I feel like if we were to look at our government, very specifically named people who I will not say to keep this channel monetized, are not great leaders, and they're men. And I know a black woman, okay, what's she gonna make? What you gonna have? There's a specific black woman who would have been a way better leader than these two men that are running this whole country. Either way, I feel like although naturally we're supposed to be, a lot of people aren't. And like Morgan said, a lot of women are raised around the fact that a lot of men aren't great leaders. That's why you got more independent style women these days, because to put it plainly, some of these niggas ain't shit. So you gotta really adjust to the way the world is raising and bringing people through. If you know the majority of men are being raised to not be leaders, then you gotta lead yourself. But in a situation like where we're supposed to be leaders, then I can understand why somebody would make that statement. I think although it is natural, it's not always the case. That's it.
I do believe that there are some positions to where women can lead better than men. I would not base that off of gender alone, because there are like different positions that I believe that women can be able to attract a crowd or an audience better than men can, just because of their approach. But I wouldn't say that women can lead better than men. I wouldn't say that men can lead better than women. I do believe it's just like the expertise, the merit that they have, where they came from, their origin, and I believe like whatever goal they're trying to accomplish, I believe that in areas women can do better than that than men, vice versa.
Yes.
How important is physical attraction?
I feel like it depends. Like, if you know that your partner or whoever you're with isn't all for, you said physical attraction?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you meant like physical. Well,
For me, bro, I put it like this.
oh no.
Let me, you know, I like to get face to face with y'all. See, I know I mean this shit, man. When I think about you, I don't think about you with my body. I think about you with my spirit, my mind, my emotions. So when it comes to physical attraction, you could be pretty, you could be, it's subjective to everybody as well. Like, what some people consider pretty, some people consider ugly. At the end of the day, no matter what, if your spirit is good, your energy is good, I'm eventually like you regardless. Like, throw that little Whopper Jr. in the circle. I don't care. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm gonna rock with you regardless. If I already rock with you, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna grow. So whether you throw around that Whopper Jr. or that Big Mac, baby, I'ma catch it. You feel me? I'ma catch it.
I feel like it can be important, yes, because I think it is important because I feel like when you're finding someone to be with, it's like one of the first impressions that you have, like what they look like physically. I think throughout your relationship it's not important, but when you first find someone you want to, everyone wants to be with someone they find attractive. But is it the most important thing? No. But I think it is important because if it wasn't important, then you'd be with someone that you're not attracted to. So it's like, but shoot.
I think that it's important. I think it's both. I think because also I'm watching Love is Blind right now. So they literally can't see each other. But actually, a lot of those couples and relationships that they make in the pods where they can't see each other, they actually don't end up working out more times than they do. So I think that it's important to a certain extent. I don't think it should be like your only and main priority, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk to this 10, because he might be a 10, but his personality, everything in the inside is probably like a 2. So it just depends. So I think there needs to be some type of initial attraction, and it will grow from there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That's what I think that's what I said. I just worded it like crazily,
No,
but like
you win.
But like,
If you could throw that Whopper Jr. in a circle, like,
Wait, why am I getting out the frame?
either way, like if my initial attraction isn't even based off looks, it's based off vibe. So my initial attraction vibe.
That's so cap. Hey, Naya, look at this. In where she live at Van Story Hall.
Yeah. Clocked, actually clocked.
Yeah.
Who do you think settles more when it comes to relationships, women or men?
Settles?
I think it's
women.
I think it's women.
I think it's women. Let me tell y'all why. I feel like guys, especially in our generation, they'll see someone, be with them, and then they'll see someone that look better than their girl currently, and then jump ship. Whereas girls are a lot more in tune with emotional intelligence and like, what's inside. So if you find someone that has your same vibe, your same motives, your same like everything, girls are more likely to stick. But I feel like guys, this is my opinion, I feel like guys, they can have that in common, but they're more inclined to see physical. So, wait, what was the question?
Who do you think settles more?
Oh, settles. So I feel like they're less like likely or more likely to not settle and to leave.
I just think women are more likely to settle than guys because a girl just wants to be loved type. I know that guys want to as well, but that's always like a little girl's dream to like have a family, like have a husband, whatever. And then like you see that all the time in like middle school and high school. So at some points you kind of follow the crowd just to, say you have something. So therefore, I feel like a lot of girls do settle. And I also feel like because they like the guys so much, like the red flags become pink flags, and then the flags kind of just disappear and all. So that's why I feel like girls settle, because it's like they know their worth, but then they don't actually like show that they know their worth when it comes to the men they allow in their life.
Coming from a young man's perspective, I do believe that the reason why a guy can find a woman who is emotionally intelligent, have all the qualities in which a woman should have. I believe that the reason why they, like Morgan said, jump ship or hop around is because they're not in tune with their emotions half of the time. And I feel like when they're not in tune with their emotions, they don't know who they are. They seek out to do other things, to move on to other women, because they're trying to find that solace, that comfort, that satisfaction, because they can't be satisfied if they're not satisfied with themselves. Like if they're not able to have the capacity in which to just be alone and not to seek out relationship, like if we're bringing spiritual into this, like you can't be able to love somebody else if you don't love yourself and if you don't love God. And so I believe that if you're not able to really, have time to yourself, love yourself, know who you are, it's going to be hard to really love somebody else, to have those emotional, intelligent conversations, to be able to sit down and like, okay, this is what I like, this is what I dislike. And I believe that when a man doesn't know who he is, it's hard for him to see, like, you know what, even though I do indeed believe she is the right one for me, I'm seeking everything else out because I'm not comfortable with myself. I still have these issues. I'm still not capable of being able to hold this down, and so I'm going to seek something less, and knowing that it doesn't take as much effort, it doesn't take that much commitment, it doesn't take that much like consistency. So I do believe that women, they do settle. Well, I believe that women do settle less because they do just want love. Wait, am I saying that wrong?
Settle more.
Settle more. Settle more. Okay. But yeah.
I agree with everybody to a certain point. Cause like at first when I was like thinking about it, I'm like, oh, like easy women, right? But then I be thinking like when we look at the ratios of like women who have to settle for men and then men who have to settle for women, I started looking to like the whys. Like women more than likely will have to settle with a man either because they're just fed up with the dating pool of men, or it's not a whole lot of great men around. You might as well take one that's pretty good instead of trying to find somebody that's perfect for you. But then I see a lot of dudes who be settling with certain women because either they know they aren't much, they don't contribute to the relationship in the way they need to. It's a lot of dudes out here that's not really trying to be with people. They just with people kind of thing. Like I see stuff like that, or they done already ran through everybody in their immediate, area. And, they done made a bad reputation for themselves. They're not known for doing anything good. Like, I see a lot of people who also just really aren't much. And then it's like shooting above your weight class kind of thing. Like, it gets to a point where if some dude with $20 to his name, don't want to get a job, don't want to do nothing with his life, is trying to get at some, top of the line woman, it's like you're gonna have to settle. Settling is more of like a subjective thing for like what you want versus what you'll take kind of thing. And that's different for everybody. So like although we may feel like it's settling, whole time to them that's like what they want. So I have to say it from like an outside standpoint, from stuff that I genuinely have the more knowledge of in terms of like the actual situation going on, I see more men settling. Because most of the time with like women that I know, if they feel like they have to settle with someone, eventually they're gonna get rid of them anyways, in my opinion. Like, it's very rare that I see the marriages and the long-term relationships be the ones they settle with. It's more of like what they'll just temporarily keep, but the whole time they getting ready to move on. Because women are more likely to move on from something that I feel like is not catered to them or like not for them more than men are, in my opinion. Men are just kind of stick through stuff.
I can see that, but just because there is someone who I know who is settling for somebody, knowing that they're not emotionally, spiritually, intellectually on that same playing field, they do know that it wasn't because, like, I'm about to say her name, but I also do believe that it's more than just she knows, or woman knows that there's more, not just in store, but there's more for her that man can't give her. But I do believe that it has something to do with like the emotional tie that they may have to that person. I feel like sometimes when it comes down to, okay, I know this isn't right for me, and it's not like I'm sure there's so many other men out there who are better for me. I know that, but because of this person, they're not this person, or at least like the things we've went through, the experiences we have, that ties me down. Exactly. And it's not like, out of pity. It's more of just like, they don't understand me the way how anybody else would. It would take more time.
Why start over and put all that work in for it? It might be the same thing. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but like for me, it's although that could be the case. Like if you were to go to the other side for dudes, like I was saying, like dudes, even though they feel that same exact way, where it's like, why would I want to put in more effort? Like they wouldn't even get that far. Some dudes would literally just stay because like that's it. Like they don't even want to like go down that road with like, oh, I gotta go talk to her, do this, do that, and be like, well, she's already, rocking with me, I'm rocking with her, regardless if she do this or do that. Like, I'm just gonna stay. Like, they're more content with things. I feel like when things don't go like a dude's way or specifically how he wanted them to go, the more mature ones at least, they're like, you know what, like, shit don't even matter, you know what I'm saying? But then like for women, I feel like them, it's like, and like he could do this, he could do that. I need him to do this, I need him to do that. Whereas, like, for me, like, if I was with a woman and it was more of like, oh, man, I really wish she would call me every day at 4 o'clock or something like that. And, she does everything else well. If she don't call me at 4, I'm like, you know what, bro? Like, it's plenty more things for me to be worried about. But then I feel like if the roles were reversed, you'd be like, why hasn't he called me at 4? He's supposed to call me at 4, blah, blah, blah. I do everything else right, but if I don't call at 4, this, that, and the other. Like, the whole settling thing is different. I feel like when uncomfort comes and unwanted situations come, men are more likely to just be like, you know what, we all good. Whereas women would be like, nah, we're not all good. I want to pick this, pick that, pick this, pick that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's slightly different because it's two different types of human beings, type shit. Mm-hmm. Like the mental processes are different. Because I feel like, for example, like you've been in a situation where you really did want it to go a certain way, but then it's like, you know what, like, I'll be bigger than that. Like, it don't even matter. But then, like, I feel like I have so many sisters that I know for a fact would be like, oh, he this, he that, he this, he that. You feel me? So that's just how I feel.
Do you feel like men are naturally better leaders?
I would say not better. I feel like better is a specific word that I do not agree with. Do I feel like men are usually naturally born leaders? Yes, I feel like they are. It's just in their DNA. But when it comes to being a better leader, I feel like no, but we see a lot of men in leadership positions, so that makes people automatically think, oh, men are naturally better leaders. But it's because usually a man will get the leadership position just because of gender, and it's like a woman will have the same qualities, if not more, but be bypassed because it is a man. That's how I feel.
I feel like it's a saying that every good man has a great woman behind him. And I feel like that's so true. I feel like every man that's quote unquote a great leader is a woman behind the scenes telling him what he needs to and he can and can't do. I feel like for public perception, men are quote unquote better leaders, but I feel like men definitely need a lot of guidance from a feminine energy. So naturally, probably, but I feel like men does need a lot of shaping sometimes.
I think there's a focus on naturally. I don't know if naturally is the right word for that, because maybe it's public perception that men are better leaders just because of men having leadership positions, and that's really just historical misogyny, honestly. So naturally, I don't think any gender is naturally the better leader. It's more about their experiences and what they have to bring and their mentality.
Oh my god. What you gotta say, Keith? You don't have nothing to say?
I feel like which one a better leader?
Which one? It says the question is are men naturally better leaders?
I feel like naturally they probably like told they should be leaders. They taught leadership, but I think men might be better like natural leaders for men and women for women. Like they both got different perspectives and roles. I think especially like let's say a sport, like a certain coach might be able to reach a male coach might be able to reach men better than a woman coach. So I don't think the gender matters. It's just whoever a good leader is a good leader. But I think for like it's like what Sean said, like presidents and stuff. I feel like the only reason I don't think it matters who the leader is, but I think the reason like men are more like you see men more as leaders like as president is because like some countries might not look and see women as leaders too. So I feel like it just depends on culture, and just the person.
I feel like men being actually born in positions is a societal push, basically. Cause men have been on like the forefront, but doesn't mean they're leaders. It's just the fact that they were brought into the world where a lot of men are taught that what they say is the right say, but even though in a lot of cases they are not. Like he said, presidential wise and political wise and HOH wise. A lot of like leadership roles it might be ran by a man, but it doesn't mean every decision is correct. But women can be brought in to be leaders too, if they're taught by this from the same circumstances. Men are just I just feel like when men are born, a lot of cases it's just more like other people are just like put the role on them, like you have to be a leader, but it doesn't mean they're better leaders. Because each person is taught different ways or raised different ways. So whatever they think might be good for them, but it might not be good for other people.
How important is physical attraction?
It's a lie to say physical attraction is not important. Physical attraction is important because it's just a natural thing. It's a natural thing in the natural world. I mean, when you see other animals, they have this thing like a courtship of why they feel like this. I'm sorry, why are y'all making these faces behind the camera?
I'm looking at the Naya like twin.
Y'all making me nervous.
Marquise, there's nothing to be nervous about.
But physical attraction is important role. But at the end of the day, for me, you can be beautiful or handsome or thebomb.com to me. But once I hear you talking, watch your story and see like how you run and stuff, and if it's gonna be something negative, I'm gonna see warts appear on your forehead one by one by one. Because at the end of the day, you're not really beautiful anymore. You're just ugly. And once you show your ugly side and internally, you're just gonna be ugly. Like to me, externally, but initial wise, when you first see them, of course, you might be physically attracted to them, and that's what drives you to like end up talking to them. So you're like, okay, you look good outside. At the end of the day, the first thing they're gonna see is your outside before they see the inside. And so, yes, physical attraction is important, but at the end of the day, you're gonna end up once you start interacting with them, you end up learning of like what they actually think and how they actually move. So yeah, that's how I stand.
I think physical attraction is like a flyer, it's like a promo. So that gets you to maybe come up to the person, that gets you to talk to the person, but once you actually get to know them, then there's a different level of attraction, right? So physical attraction is just getting you to meet the person, in my opinion.
No, that's facts. I feel like it matters to an extent. Like you see him, you like, alright, you like what you see, you don't like what you see, and you carry on. And that much.
I feel like physical attraction is, I wouldn't say very important, but it is a important aspect of a relationship, because if you have a relationship and you're in it because of the personality and not the physical attraction, I feel like at some point you start comparing what could have been with what you have. So I feel like at times, like if me personally, well, I don't care, like you could be kind of chopped and I'd be like, okay, you have a really beautiful personality and I love that for you. But then there's also a lot of people that are like really, really, really fine, and then they just have like really, really, really ugly personalities. But I do feel like for certain people, they start to think of what could have been when there's no physical attraction there, and then it starts to create like problems like cheating and stuff like that. So I feel like to a certain extent, like yeah, if you're not attracted to your partner like physically even a little bit, especially if they're your like husband and wife, if you're not physically attracted to them, there's going to be problems, especially when it comes time to have physical intercourse and things like that. So.
I love my girl. My girl's the baddest girl. And I feel like, in general, physical attraction, I feel like you gotta be physically, at least for me, I feel like I gotta be physically attracted to you, at least a little bit, for you to even get a conversation at me. Very important. I feel like people that say physical attraction don't matter, you gotta see what you like, bro. Cause if they look ugly, you're not gonna even get a nigga the time of the day, bro. You won't even get that nigga the time of the day. So I think it's very important. But I don't think that's like something that's like a deal breaker. You could be a little ugly. Maybe just a little ugly. But like, gotta be attracted to it a little bit.
Yeah, at the end of the day, everybody got different standards to physical attraction. So what might not be attracted to somebody else physically might be physically attracted to someone else. So at the end of the day, it's really all based on everybody else's standards of what you see at you.
I also think it's your mindset too. Like if you go into a relationship thinking, oh, this is not my type, and you keep telling yourself over and over, this is not my type, this is not my type, you're gonna start to be like, oh, this is not the partner I want. It's gonna cause problems in your relationships.
Who do you think settles more when it comes to relationships, women or men?
I think women do, and you hear about it a lot, especially like with famous people. I'd say one of the biggest people that I've seen or talk about it is Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. Chrissy Teigen was like, she did not like that man at all. Like, and that's crazy to say because that's her husband, father of her children. But she's literally like, yeah, I did not like him at all, but he was very persistent. So I feel like if a man is persistent enough, then he can get a woman to settle for him. And then also, I feel like once they get into a relationship, lots of times women are supposed to be men's peace. So if there is like conflict in a relationship, I feel like women will take the step back and be like, okay, on certain things, I feel like they'll take the step and be like, okay, I'll settle when it comes to this, especially when it comes to careers. I feel like a lot of like when you see women when they have and men and a man has or a woman they have two like very dominating careers and one has to settle. I feel like a lot of the times the women settle with their career so that they can take care of the family and still like have a positive environment for the family.
Wait, is it my turn? Mm-hmm. Oh. I feel like it's neutral. I feel like everybody settles. Because it's no way that, like, everybody has some stuff to work on, but in like a male and female perspective, it's like, I can see how a man can settle for a woman because he likes her and he thinks that she's beautiful and he wants to get to know her, but then emotionally she could be the worst thing for him. And I see how women settle for men because she sees the potential in him, but he's not even on his shit for real, so she's wasting her time. So I feel like everybody settles in a sense. But I feel like the biggest thing with settling is like what are you willing to settle for? Because in a relationship, you're going to settle for something. because the person's not gonna be just like 100% the person that you want to marry. So yeah.
I feel like these go both ways. I feel like, I mean, ever since the sideline, we may think women show more, or some other cases, for other people, they think men show more, but as you know, as I walk this campus, it go both ways equally. People actually kind of both kind of want to settle, but because like at the end of the day, I hear a lot of, I don't want her because she a hoe, or I don't want him because he a hoe, and they're like, I want to find my one. I just want love. But I mean, of course, I mean, I feel like at this age, in this society way, you're not gonna see a lot of settling down until like they're older and they're more into their career per se. Like when they're like about 28, at least have a good decent job, a job that at least keeps them stable and such. And and that's for both genders, and they go both ways. But I don't feel like either one settle more than the other because it's not like we see both sides. It just feels that way because that's what the media puts out, and that's what the media chooses to put out. But if you're really out there and have to go out there and see for yourself, both genders want the same things, but in different ways.
I feel like women may settle a little bit more, but in any relationship, I think there's different things that you have to compromise on, and so it really can go both ways. But I feel like just based on what I've seen, that women may settle just a touch more.
I think it's a horrible question because it's just like it's the same. Do men or women do this more or this better? I really don't think it matters, bro. It's like people do what they do. Everybody gonna settle. Everybody gonna prove what they want to prove. That's not that easy.